If your list opens your emails but never buys your offer, are they really committed to getting their solution through you? What if you could get them to take a smaller commitment first? Today, we're answering the question, how do I get the people on my email list to make a meaningful step toward buying my main offer? So, we're going to talk about tiny but mighty, as in ignite commitment through tiny offers. Now, this is coming from this week's blog. There is money in your email. If you want to follow along, go to shaycannon.com/email. That's shaycannon.com/email. And I'm dropping that link in studio and on the YouTube live. All right. So again, what we're talking about this week is that there is money in your email. If we are using our email list correctly, if we are setting things up and using it at the tool that is as the tool is supposed to be, it's supposed to print money. Yeah, it's supposed to be like an ATM. And I don't feel like we've talked about that in the 2 to 3 years we've had the morning show. So we're doing a deep dive into it this week. Okay. So the first thing that we talked about in part one was when people get your lead magnet and come onto your list, you need to be warming them up before you dump them on the main part of the list, getting all the emails that everybody else gets. Okay. So in part one on Monday, we talked about creating a 4 email sequence as a welcome sequence. We even gave you some copy for that. So if you need that, go back to part one. All right. Yesterday was part two, and we talked about being nurturing AF, okay? Because that is what's going to create the connection, create the relationship, going to create the like, know, and trust that you're going to need to get these small commitments and bigger commitments from your email list to buy from you. So we talked about all the ways you could be nurturing them. We talked about a past whole list of ways to nurture them. And I even gave you some new ways to nurture them and 2 ChatGPT prompts. So if you need that, go back to part two, which was on yesterday. Today, we're moving forward with, okay, they got our lead magnet. They went through a welcome sequence. They have been nurtured. Now we need to start trying to get a commitment, but you don't start with your main offer. So how do we do it? Tiny but mighty, okay? The true test of a profitable email list isn't how many subscribers you have. It is how many have actually bought something from you, even on a small level. Introducing micro offers or tiny offers become your larger services before your larger services creates an entry point that lowers the resistance and builds buying behavior. It's about shifting your audience's mindset from being a passive observer, just reading your emails, to being an active consumer that's buying your stuff. Okay. When someone makes that first purchase, no matter how small, they're making a statement of trust. They're saying, I believe you can help me. So that shift changes how they see your future offers and how they engage with your content going forward. So it turns your list from a group of curious followers into a community of invested buyers who are more likely to say yes again, faster, and at higher price points. All right. So now we get into the nitty gritty, right? Now, here on the morning show, I give you more. So I'm going to go to these show notes and get you some strategies. But first, I want you to know that I gave you guys a link in today's show notes to a past blog post that talks about, some tiny offers that you could create. Okay. Now, let me just show you something. It's at shaycannon.com/passive because these digital products and these tiny offers are the same as passive income products. So it's called low ticket, high reward. Okay. So in here, I give you a list of low content books you can create. I give you a list of audio products you create. I give you a list of video products you could create, right? And a list of miscellaneous products that you could create. All of these can be used as tiny offers. Okay. But today, for the strategies, I'm going to give you some more meaningful things. Okay. So you can do these things and then add these more meaningful recommendations. All right. So let me pull up my show notes. Here we go. So here you go. This is in your show notes. I gave you a link to that very same blog post that I just showed you. You also get the links from the other posts that I feel like are going to be helpful for you with your email list. But let's get into today's strategies, okay? Some top strategies for tiny offers that create a micro commitment. Now, I would suggest, since these are a little more evolved, that you use the other list from the blog post first, and you can use those more often, and then you can kind of sprinkle in these small offers or tiny offers before you start hitting them with the main offer. All right. So, number one, a permission slip offer. So sell a low cost resource or experience that gives your audience emotional permission to take action. Okay. So most of the time, what people need to do to be more successful at whatever service you provide or whatever transformation you help them with, it's something they're avoiding doing. And we might need to hold their hand and get them over that, right? So it's not necessarily about tools, it's about validation. People buy relief before they buy results, okay? So that's one way, a permission slip offer. Number two, a 1 hour freedom fix, okay? Package a hyper specific transformation that can be completed in an hour or less. The appeal is the immediacy or the instant win, the instant gratification, the instant trust. So that's number two. Number three, mirror moment challenge. So create a micro experience that forces reflection, like an audit or some type of self-assessment or some type of guided clarity worksheet. It's emotionally sticky. Okay, they're gonna remember this because it's gonna be rooted in emotion. Because it doesn't show them what they want, but why they haven't achieved it yet. Okay, so that's a great first step to something that is your main offer. Number four, the first win framework. Offer a simplified version of the main method that helps them score a small victory. Momentum is addictive. So once they get that one, they're going to be ready for another win, right? So when you help them once, they subconsciously crave the next step and they want that from you. Number five, the proof of progress tracker. That's a great thing. All these calculators and stuff that you can build and help people keep up with their progress is great. So offer a short-term scorecard, progress tracker, or milestone journal, some type of thing where they can keep up with knowing when they're ready for some kind of next step or knowing when they're closer to a goal. So it's not about teaching, it's about helping them see their movement or their progress. Visible progress creates emotional investment and cravings for the next step. Number six, the moment of clarity mini session. So sell clarity, not consulting. A short guided breakthrough that helps them to articulate what they want and what's blocking them emotionally. People pay for self understanding when they're not ready to pay for implementation. So every workshop I have, we start with clarity, right? And if you need deeper clarity, then you're going to have to get a whole nother strategy session. But we at least start off with stating what our clarity is and getting a little instruction on how to get to that clarity. Number seven, action instead of answers. Instead of promising insight, promise motion. So an implementation sprint or a let's do it together type of moment where they can complete a micro task alongside you turns passive readers into active orders. I love this because when people are implementing and you're allowing them to have access to you, the expert, as they're implementing, that is way more valuable than you just selling them something and them having to do it on their own. All right. Number eight, the One Habit to Change Everything series. So sell a micro challenge around a one daily behavior that delivers an oversized win. Of course, we're going to limit the duration of time that we're doing this because it's a series. That means it's not infinite. It's very finite. Maybe it's 7 days, maybe it's 14 days, maybe it's 10 days, but it's going to be a daily behavior thing, but for a finite amount of time. Okay. Tiny habits are sticky because they don't feel overwhelming, and consistent small action builds attachment to your methods. Number nine, the permission to pivot workshop. Okay. Help them release what's working in their current strategy. This taps into emotional liberation. People pay to let go just as much as they pay to level up. All right. Number 10, the proof of power mini experience. So design a low ticket offer that demonstrates your authority in real time. Some kind of mini audit, some type of personalized video review, or some kind of feedback loop that you're creating that proves that you are the expert and you can help them overcome any obstacles in their way. So that proves your expertise and not just y'all know how I hate people that like a method rather than being an actual expert, can't help you overcome nothing. They like, just follow what I told you. But okay, but there are caveats. Can you be the expert to help me through the caveats? Okay. Number 10 was that proof of power. Okay, so that's our 10 strategies. All right. Let me stop sharing my screen. I'm gonna go back through, but I'm gonna give you guys this question of the day. Boom. I'm going to put it in the studio and I'm going to put it over here on YouTube. There we go. Cool beans. So the question of the day is, which tiny offer strategy do you think will really get your list to make a micro commitment to you and your brand so that they eventually invest in your main offer? We're going to start with Dr. Latoya Davis when I come back from this. I'm going to do a recap of the 10 without all the extra. I'm going to share my screen again because I'm going to end it with, guess what I got for you today? Another 2 ChatGPT prompts. Okay. So let me share my screen. Well, let me roll up to the top first and share my screen again. Again, I'm going to give you the list that is the quick version without all the extra, but I am sharing my screen so you'll still see the extra. Okay. So, top 10 strategies for tiny offers that create a micro commitment on the way to your main offer. Number 1, the permission slip offer. Number 2, the 1-hour freedom fix. Number 3, the mirror method challenge. I'm sorry, mirror moment challenge. Number 4, the first win framework. Number 5, the proof of progress tracker. Number 6, moment of clarity mini session. Number 7, the action instead of answers offer. Number 8, the 1 habit to change everything series. Number 9, the permission to pivot workshop. And number 10, the proof of power mini experience. Now, I got your 2 prompts. One is going to help you to customize and make more relevant to what you do any one of these 10. Okay. And then the other one is so that if you need recommendations beyond these 10, you're going to use this prompt, give them those 10 as an example, and tell them to generate you 10 more like that. Okay. So those are what your 2 prompts are going to do for you. But let's go back to our question of the day, starting with Dr. Latoya Davis. So, Dr. Latoya, which tiny offer strategy do you think will really get your list to make a micro commitment to you and your brand to eventually have them invest in your main offer?
Definitely the 1-hour transformation, as I am working on a series of subliminal recording.
Love it. Love it. Okay. Great. I love that. And I know you're going to be looking forward to the prompts. So just know directly after the morning show, I'm going to go ahead and drop this into the group because I know some of y'all be ready, Freddy. So you won't have to wait to get it. All right. I think Kimberly is still driving. So let's go to Cheryl. Cheryl, which tiny offer strategy do you think will really get your list to make a micro commitment to you and your brand so that they eventually invest in your main offer?
Number 9, the permission to pivot workshop. People
Yes.
get stuck and then they get stubborn in their stupidness, so to speak, as my grandmother used to say, and
Mm-hmm.
they can't move forward, but they just don't really know how to. And it's almost like the permission slip thing as well. It's okay to do something new. You don't have to follow what everybody is saying. You must have a character do this, or you got to write your own story.
Yes. I love that. Thank you, Cheryl. All right, let's go to Dr. Tachi. Dr. Tachi, which tiny offer strategy do you think will really get your list to make a micro commitment to you and your brand so that they eventually invest in your main offer?
I like the proof of progress tracker and the let's do it together.
I do like the let's do it together. Um, I also like an audit for you, Dr. Tachi, because with your method of video being of higher quality production, you could easily get people on Zoom and go through and audit their audio, audit their video, audit all the good stuff, the lighting, like right there, and give them some pointers and have them to kind of change things and then see and give you a stamp of approval. That is definitely one of the things that has helped me in working with you, is that you were very willing to get on camera and say, hey, let's jump on and let me see it.
Now, okay, I didn't even hear the audit one, so thank you for that. I missed that. Okay.
That was, let me see which one that was. I feel like, oh, that was the last one. The proof of power, a mini audit, personalized video review or feedback loop.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I
That was the
walked
last
away
one.
for a moment. Okay, thank you.
No problem, no problem. Cool beans. Okay, so let me go back over here. Okay, so tomorrow we're going to end this series about, there's money in your email, on hit them again and again. So we're going to talk about the consistency in dropping stuff. Okay, dropping emails, dropping offers, all that good stuff is what we're going to talk about tomorrow to round off this series. However, so far we have talked about warming up your new leads that come in through your lead magnets, however else they got on your email list and they are still cold, how to warm them up before you dump them in to get all the emails everybody else gets. Then we talked about nurturing them, okay, and nurturing them consistently in ways that matter and actually have them to like, know, and trust you. And today we've progressed to getting them to make a micro commitment that is going to make them a hotter lead for them to buy your main offer. So we talked about tiny offers. Now let me tell you something about tiny offers. They are low risk, okay? They are usually affordable compared to the main offer, okay? So when you think of tiny offers, you definitely don't want it to compete with the main offer, because what we don't want these folks to think is they can buy the one for $7 and now they ain't got to buy the one for $700. Okay, we don't want them to think that. And just before you think, well, how could they think that, when no, they will think that. You are the expert. You know they can't get a transformation out of that $7 thing. If it's too much like your main offer, in their mind, for $7 instead of $700, I can get the same result. That's what they're thinking. So we never want it to compete with our main offer. So start thinking about things that what would they need to prepare for the main offer? What is some kind of transformation they can get on the way to the transformation they would get from the main offer? But do not compete with the transformation of the main offer. Okay. So do you guys have any questions, any value adds, or any aha moments about warming up people coming into your list, nurturing them consistently, and now having them to buy this low risk, affordable, tiny offer as a micro commitment? Anybody have any questions, value adds, or aha moments?
I have,
Oh, yes,
sorry.
give it to me, Tati.
Yeah. So, question around pricing of these things.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I guess I like kind of a starting place or something to consider when you're pricing these things.
So what I would look at when I'm pricing it is, I'm going to look at something like, and you might want to make this a list, y'all. So I would look at, does it involve me live doing anything? Okay. If I have to show up live to do something, that's going to cost more than something that you're able to download or access without me. Okay. So that's one thing I look at. The next thing I look at is, how big of a transformation can they get from this thing? Because even though it doesn't cost as much as the main offer and it's affordable in comparison to the main offer, doesn't mean it's $7. Okay. So I look at that. The next thing that I look at is, how much do they value it? Right. So there are things that our ideal clients value that we as experts know that it don't really hold that much value on the way to the transformation they want, but they believe it does. And so even though it may help a little bit, them thinking that it helps way more than it does makes it a little more higher in price based on demand. Right. So I look at things like that. But everything is really going to be in comparison to that main offer. So you're going to think tripwire, down sell, that type of thing. as far as how much it is. Now, again, if you got a $10,000, okay, main offer, then, a more affordable offer could be $5,000. So again, it's going to be in relation to what is your main offer. And last but not least, what feels like it's not a risk to them, right? Based on the transformation they would get, do they feel like spending that money is a risk because I don't know you like that or not? Okay. So I would look at all of those things. But that was a great question.
Thank you.
Of course. And I will tell you, don't sleep on $20 offers or $20 or below offers that don't take you. Don't sleep on those. Everything ain't got to be $100, $99, right? Don't sleep on the fact that something is passive, and once you make it, you're selling it over and over again. Because again, this past weekend, I took a $20 content class. Okay, well, it's $25. There were 500 people on that Zoom with me for that $25 class. So I want you to multiply that $25 by that 500 plus people and tell me how much she made for that 1 hour. Well, it was 2 hour session, but she gave 1 hour worth of value and then took questions for an hour. So don't sleep on something being $20, $25, especially when it doesn't take you, or you can do it one to many. So just so y'all know. Okay. Cool. Great question, Dr. Tasha. That was awesome. Anybody else with a question, a value add, or an aha moment about this creating your email list to print money for you, because it's money in your email, and what we've talked about thus far? All righty. Well, as a reminder, what's happening this week is on Friday from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. is a Get Shit Done work session, usually for the paid membership only, but we invite our free business mastermind to come in, twice a month to catch the last half of that. So check your calendars for that, but that's on Friday. On Sunday, for the paid mastermind only, at 7 p.m. Eastern time, we start our 14-day October goals momentum sprint. Now, again, I cannot express to you enough that if you are a member, you need to attend. If you are not a member, this might be the time for you to become a member, because this monthly event is responsible for most of the forward motion that members have had in their businesses and their lives when they participate. So there are resources in addition to the sessions that help everybody get success with this thing. Okay. If you are not a member, you want to join, go to shaycannon.com/membership and do it before Sunday so that you can join us. All right. Save the date. On Saturday, October the 25th, from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Eastern time, we're having our fall boot camp intensive. It is the Foo Fighters 2.0, marketing to fund your freedom. We're going to get into the workflow that you need to be putting in place so that you can put this money, okay, you can get this money so you can fund the lifestyle that you want. Now, it's funny because today, one of the strategies that we talked about, let me go back up. It was number, hold on, y'all. It was number, why can't I find it? It's number 5, that proof of progress tracker. In our workshop, I'm going to show you a way to create trackers, calculators, and things like that as your lead magnet. Because our AI tools are getting better and better, and we should make our things that we put out there to attract better and better based on these tools that are available to us. So one of the things we're going to talk about is creating better lead magnets, and that looks like these calculators and these trackers that we can easily create without even knowing how to code. So that's one of the things. So save the date. That link is probably coming out next week, and then you guys need to get on it to get into this workshop. All right, guys, let me see. Here we go. So this has been the Her First Six Figures Morning Show, which is an interactive coaching and training experience as part of our free business mastermind group that positions Black and brown female online service-based entrepreneurs to generate your first six figures by learning how to make the money and create time freedom. Find out more about me, your host, Shay Cannon, plus get links to resources like how to join the free business mastermind group and how to get the show notes with the strategies from today and recent past episodes. Go to the description below. All right. If you have not already, please like this episode. Give us a thumbs up. You know we give you great value. Pay us back by giving us a thumbs up, like in the episode. Make sure that you are subscribed to the channel and understand that today's episode is going to be one out of a 4-video series. So check out the other episodes. And with that, the studio is closing in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Have a great day, and we'll see you right back